Today, we're looking at a very helpful MPC One feature. Freebeat. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Today's patron shout-out goes to Lorenzo Tano. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. So the feature that we are looking at today works on the MPC One, of course, but also all of the other MPC standalone devices, as well as the MPC software. And that feature, which is an incredibly helpful one, is the chord progressions feature. This is a fantastic feature if you want to make music, but you don't really have any music theory knowledge. What the chord progressions feature does for you is it actually assigns different chord progressions to the pads and then allows you to play through them. If you don't know what a chord progression is, basically it's a chaining or a sequence of chords that typically works out melodically to flesh out your song. And that's really as deep as I'll get into what an actual chord progression is. Let's figure out how to use this feature. So the first thing we want to do is change our active track to either a plugin or a key group. We want, the ability to play a sample or play keys, play a synth. So today I'm going to use a plugin, and I'm going to use the Hype Synth plugin. And preset-wise, we are going to go and find a nice basic piano. Piano is the best sound to kind of try these out, in my opinion. Let's go summer piano, sure. Beautiful. There's a good example of a chord. Those last three notes that I just ended on here make up a chord. C major in this case. But let's go and access the chord progressions feature. So you can either double press on the 16 levels button, or you can hold shift and press it down, which will access the notes page. This is where we determine what notes are assigned to the pads. This is where we can change our octave. This is where we can change our key. This is where we can change our scale. And a lot more. I'm going to set this to C major right now, and we'll go to the second octave. Cool. Now, to select progressions, we want to go to the top here, and we actually just want to click on progressions. Right now I'm on notes. You might be on off or chromatic or whatever. Just go to progressions. Now, each pad on the MPC represents a chord. As you can see, the red pads, or our root pads, are a C major chord. The next pad, this yellow one here, will be an F. The next pad will be a G. And then E minor, and then A minor, and then D minor, then our B, and then our B diminished, and then we repeat again with C. So the bottom 8 pads are the exact same as the top 8 pads, just one octave apart. So there is a chord progression. We can actually just follow this along now, and it doesn't sound awful. And of course, you don't have to follow these progressions just as they are. You could simply play with the first 3 here, Or you can try and play around with them and mix and match. A little bit of theory knowledge will come in handy here, when you build your own progressions out of these available chords here. But for the most part, you can just walk through these chords, and it's a great progression. It works just fine. However, we can actually change the progression, and there are a lot. Also, of course, we can still change our key, our scale, and our octave. But let's change our chord here. So we go down to chord, and we're going to use the main scroll wheel here. Now we're at classic minor. Now you'll notice that sounds like it's really high. Let's go to the octave and drop it down. I'm going to go one more. Not my personal favorite, but it is a good progression. Let's keep going. This one's called So Simple, and it looks like it just kind of walks us up the chords of our C major scale. Sounds great. Now on this one, you'll actually notice that the top row of pads is a little different than the lower row of pads. It's actually this last one here in the upper right-hand corner. This is an F chord over A, and this is just straight up D minor. Very similar chords, but slightly different. There we go. We can keep going, and there are some pretty complex ones in here, like here's one called Godly. Yeah, as you can hear, we can get into some pretty complex chord progressions, and it's all as easy as just switching to whatever you want and playing through them and seeing what you like, seeing what sounds good. Here's one called Canon. Let's actually set this to D. There we go. Now it'll feel real. Let's see if you can figure this one out. And yeah, you can play multiple chords at the same time too, provided whatever synth or sample group you've pulled up, supports polyphony up to that amount of notes. You're good to go. That's Pachelbel's Canon, by the way. The chord progression is anyway super, super cool. And of course, we can record these like normal too. So let's go ahead and give ourselves an 8-measure, an 8-bar sequence. I just completely brain farted. And let's record. 3, 4. There we go. Now we're good to go into a new track. Let's pull up a drum group here. Here we go. Let's record. There we go. Now I'm pulling up a new synth here. And we're in D major. And now we're just free to kind of noodle around. There you go. So there you have it. That's how you can use the chord progressions feature to, lay down some chord progressions that you might not be familiar with. Who knows? Maybe you have a little music theory, or quite a bit. Like I have quite a bit of music theory, but there's still some progressions in here that I would definitely shy away from. I'm not going to go play D9 sus4 inherently on the piano. I'm just a dumb drummer. So I do hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, of course, you can always hit that dislike button. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit... That's not what I do. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. There we go. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.